Hey folks, welcome to the fourth episode of Power Tips. In this video, we are going to get started with plugin development. We'll be using Visual Studio project and then configuring that project to start our plugin development. At the end, we will be writing an actual working plugin. So let's begin our journey. So here I have Visual Studio 2022. So once you start your Visual Studio 2022, you'll get this Get Started options here. So you can click on Create a New Project. So once you click on Create New Project, you will be provided with list of project templates. Now you have to search for class library and make sure that you are selecting for .NET framework. So there are two class libraries that you would find in the templates. One would be for .NET and .NET Standard, and the other one would be for .NET Framework. Currently, plugin framework in Dynamics only supports .NET Framework. So you have to select a .NET Framework class library. So once you select .NET Framework class library, you can select Next. And here you can select your own path. So I have my location. So this is going to be my location. And then I am going to give name to my project. I can say Power Tips Training. Okay. Now I can give a solution name as well, or I can choose to place the solution and the project in the same directory. If I choose to place the solution and the project in the same directory, I don't get the solution name, which means there would be only one solution and one project in the in it. Now we are going to create multiple projects in the same solution. So I want to not place the solution and the project in the same directory, and then I want to give my solution a different name. I'm going to do powertips.plugins. That's going to be the solution name, and then my project name is going to be powertips.plugins.training. So what does this mean is my namespace in the project is going to be powertips.plugins.training. Okay. Now, very important to choose your framework. As of now, the only framework that is supported is up to 4.7.1. You can go down to 4.6.2, right? But you cannot go above 4.7.1. So I'm going to select 4.7.1 here. And then I'm going to hit the create button. Once your project is loaded, you will get a default class file. I'm going to go ahead and then delete the default class file because I don't want it. And you can see that I have my solution, which is powertips.plugins, and then I have my plugin project, which is powertips.plugins.training. So the second step is to add NuGet libraries. So you right click and then go to manage NuGet packages. And here you can search for Dataverse. When you search for Dataverse, there would be Microsoft.crm SDK.core libraries. You can install the latest version. And this will install all the dependencies that's needed for writing a plugin. So the next step is to configure our project. Now, we have to configure our projects in the industry standard manner. In the industry standard, we normally use plugin base classes. So to add a plugin base, I'm going to add a new class file. And then I'm going to call it as plugin base. Okay. Now, before we can get started with plugin base, I want to call out two things. To create a plugin base and to make sure that you're creating a better plugin base class, I would I recommend using Jonas Canary Tracer. So Jonas Canary Tracer is a fantastic tracing library or tracing class that he has created long time back that helps you trace each and everything from the context. So this is the plugin tracer that is available, and it would also be available in the video's description as well. So check that out. And I'm gonna copy this as is without the namespace and then paste it in my class. So first of all, I will go and create a class called tracer, add a class, and then I'm gonna write plugin tracer. Okay. So as you can see, there's a trace context added here. Now we are getting a lot of this errors, right? That's because we are missing some of the namespaces. So let's go and configure those namespaces. So if you click on the error and add the libraries, for example, stack trace is also needed. So we'll add the stack trace and then just make sure each and every library is added. Okay, so all the errors went away and our tracer is ready. Now, next thing is we are gonna create a plugin base class. To create a plugin base class, I have provided my own format of plugin base class as a URL in the video's description, but that is all thanks to, again, Jonas, because Jonas was the one who came up with a nice plugin base class format, and then I just modified a little bit of it to make it more friendlier for myself. So if you are interested in getting that code, the link is provided in the video's description. So I'm going to copy that class and paste it over here. Okay, again, same thing, it's going to have some errors. So let's go and fix those errors first. Okay, and there are no more errors anymore. Okay, so now what does this plugin base does? So if you're using the plugin base as is, you would see that what's already implemented in the plugin base. So the main logging is already handled in the plugin base. The main tracing is already handled in the plugin base, and then try catch already exists. What you get from the plugin, you would get an entity from target. You will get a context. You will get the organization service. And then anytime you have to trace anything inside your plugin, you can use trace or tracer.write, which will write with all the stopwatch timings. And then it automatically picks the first pre-image and the first post image. So you don't have to write the logic for that. So most of this stuff is already done for you in the plugin base class. Okay. So, and also remember that the plugin base implements iPlugin, which is very necessary when you're writing a plugins, when you're writing your own plugins. But because plugin base already inherits iPlugin, you don't have to inherit it again when you're writing your plugins. So once these two files are ready, let's go and add our plugins. I'm going to write my first plugin. So I'm going to add a new class file, and I'm going to name it as calculate superhero score. Okay. And then once my class gets added, I'm going to mark it as public, and this class will inherit the plugin base class. Okay. So now I'm getting an error because if I'm inheriting a plugin base class, I have not implemented the necessary functions. So you can just hover over it and you'll get this nice icon which will tell you whether to implement the class. So once I set implement it, it will all add the necessary function for me. Now my plugin is ready for implementation. So for the plugin, what we are trying to do here is I have a entity called superhero, and then this superhero has some power stats on it. So we have intelligence, strength, speed, durability, power, and combat. And then I have this additional field called as combined power stats. So I'm going to take all of this values and then average them out. And then I'm going to stamp that value on the combined power stats. Now I could have used calculated fields or anything else, but I wanted to showcase you how to do this through a plugin. Okay. So let's go back to our plugin. So first thing is we want to make sure when this plugin will get invoked. So the plugin will get invoked when I have my show hide superpower stats set to yes. So if I'm setting this to yes, that's when this calculations should happen. Okay, so it's going to be, the plugin is going to be on the update, and once I set this to yes, that's when it's going to do the average. So first thing I want to do is I want to get the value of that particular attribute. So again, going back to my superhero or entity and going to that form, I want to get the schema name of this particular field. Now to get the schema name of this particular field, I'll be using Nataraj's level up tool to get the logical names. So once I click on the logical names, I get all the logical names that I want. So I'm just going to double click and then copy the logical name, come back here, and I'm going to say, and this is going to be this is going to be a Boolean variable. So bool show is power stats set to show. And then because I'm using a plugin base, I get target as part of it. And I can directly do get attribute of type bool from this particular attribute. So now I have is power stats set to show captured over here. Next thing is I'm going to check if is power stats true, then I'm going to take the values from those 6 attributes. So first I'm going to take the value from intelligence, and these values are going to be all integer values, as you can see. So those are going to be int intelligence is equal to target get attribute int and then intelligence. Same I'm going to do for the next as well. So the next one is going to be strength, then is going to be speed, and then is going to be durability. Oh wait, I have the attribute name wrong, so let me just go and fix those. I was using GitHub Copilot, so it just goes and completes your code automatically. Sometimes it does make mistake. Okay, so going back to durability and durability, and then now it will fix the code correctly. So I'm still using GitHub Copilot, and this one was power, so int power and power, and the next one is compact. Okay, now I'm gonna do the score, where the score is going to be combination of all of this divided by 6. So that's the average, right? So average score. And once I have the score, I am going to update the the same entity with that particular score. Now, because I'm updating the same plugin, I want to make sure that I'm not going in loop. So that's why I'm going to run this plugin on pre-operation. So the way I have to update it is target and then setting the attribute name. So again, the attribute name is combined power. So I'm going to copy that. And here I'm going to do combined power is equal to score. And that should do it. Okay. So that is how you write your plugin. So now that our plugin is completed, the last piece that is left to configure is configuring the key on the plugin project. So in order to configure the key on the plugin project, you have to right click the project, go to the properties, and under signing, you have to sign the assembly. So to sign the assembly, you have to click create a new key. And because we don't have any key existing in the project, we will be creating a new key. So here you can give any name you want. I can give power tips CRM or Dataverse key. And either you can create a key with a password. I'm not going to create a key with a password, and click on OK. And now, because you have created a key on the plugin project, you have to make sure that you're saving the project file as well. So now when you go to your Solution Explorer, you can see that an SNK file has been added to your project as well. Now, once this is done, you can build your project and get ready to deploy it to Dataverse. In this video, you saw how to configure your project and how to write your plugin. In the next video, you're going to look at how to register your plugin and the events and how to debug your plugin. If you like this video, then you would like these two videos as well. So check them out and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.